calmness really is a way of life, and calmness is not just important for your dog, but obviously also really important for you to just keep your sanity and to basically have a normal life and to be less stressed by your own dog. So in this video we're going to talk about why calmness matters, why this is relevant. Then we are going to talk about the Calmness Triad and how you can achieve calmness with your dog. And then I have some extra tips and tricks for you. My name is Stephanie and I have two, at the moment, very calm dogs. And if you have watched other videos from me, you will see that both of my boys, both of them rescue dogs, are super calm in most of the videos. They just sleep, and this has not been a natural state of being for them, but this was training, and I'm going to reveal how we did it and how you can do it too. Maybe to just give you some background, so this one here was in the shelter and this one here was a street dog from the Middle East, so calmness was totally not on top of their minds. Without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, why is calmness important? Calmness is important for your dog because calm dogs will make better decisions. If you have a dog where you ask yourself, why? What happened? This was not a big deal. Why you make it a big deal? Then you might want to consider adding calmness into your day-to-day life, or even more calmness. Generally, dogs are meant to be resting or sleep at least 50% of the day. So they do sleep a lot and they should sleep a lot. So having a dog who is calm, who is sleeping, who is getting the rest they need and they deserve, can easier empty their stress bucket, can easier unwind and de-stress, and basically be a better version of themselves. Calmness can obviously also help if you have a dog who follows you around everywhere and he's generally stressed by your movements. If you have a dog who, on the other hand, remains calm and who knows his job is to sleep, to rest, you are expecting of your dog not to follow you around, but to really chill and want your dog to know that you got this, that you can take a shower on your own, that your dog does not need to be around, that you can make a coffee without your dog's help, etc. Then this will be less stressful for you too. Because I think most of us who have had a Velcro dog or who have a dog who follows us around everywhere, it can be quite stressful, because I feel sometimes we put so much pressure then onto ourselves to not move or to be calm, and it kind of like just limits our own movement. So having a dog who knows how to settle and is happy to settle and happy to know that this is okay can make your life easier. Then of course as well, make your life easier if you work from home, for example, or if you have a dog who is running around like crazy and is not calming down, then our mind is everywhere but not on the task at hand. It's not necessarily where we want our mind to be. Chasing our dog, we are running around, we're making sure our dog is not chewing our shoes, whatever it might be. So calmness really is a way of life, and calmness is not just important for your dog, but obviously also really important for you to just keep your sanity and to basically have a normal life and to be less stressed by your own dog. But again, for your dog it is just as important, because dogs really do need to chill a lot and your dog needs to sleep a lot and rest a lot. And as mentioned before, calm dogs do make better decisions. You cannot train your dog for every situation that is maybe happening or maybe not happening. You cannot prepare for every given circumstance. So having a dog who is not exploding emotionally with the behaviour while they are out and about might just make your life easier, but also might make it more predictable and also open up more opportunities to bring your dog somewhere, etc. So generally, if you have a dog who is, especially with game-based training where we don't train in situations, if you have a dog who is calm, your dog will make better decisions. So for example, in a coffee shop, if you maybe have not trained your dog to sit in a queue or whatever, but if you have a calm dog, then it doesn't really matter if your dog sits or stands or lies or whatever, because your dog is calm, right? So I think generally it's a way of life, and it's something that I totally value, and especially in a multi-dog household, it's so essential. And you also want your dogs not to wind each other up, and I realize this when I have other dogs over for boarding services or for doggy daycare. If a dog has not learned this concept, it can be quite tempting to go over to sleeping dogs and wind them up and want to play, constantly play, and they can get into a really high arousal level where it can be difficult to manage, where it can also maybe switch into maybe aggression or fear or whatever. So yeah, to just have calm dogs for me is totally important. And if you have watched any of my videos, you know how much I do value this concept, because my boys, seriously, even on Instagram, I even call it the master chillers. But it's a way of life, and for me, this is really, really important that they get the rest they need, and also to be able to do other things while having dogs. So in this part of the video, we're going to talk about the Calmness Triad and the different parts of the Calmness Triad and how you can promote calmness within your dogs in each of the sections. So the first one I would like to talk about is active rest. And with active rest, I mean the proper sleep your dog gets. So the proper time where your dog is deeply asleep, where your dog can chase squirrels or whatever in their dreams, and where they can have just a really good snooze without any distractions, without any interruptions, without anyone disturbing them. So this could be either like on their beds, in their crate, or wherever. So this means this is somewhere, usually at home, where your dog feels safe enough to have a proper sleep and where your dog fully relaxes and can get the sleep they need. This can also mean, and I think this is important, that if you, for example, have children, you want your children to not disturb the dog when they're having the active rest in their bed. So to really educate your children about why this is important and that dogs need to sleep, and that you basically create a safe space in your home for your dog where your dog can fully relax and sleep without interruption, without distractions. The second part of the Calmness Triad is passive calming activities. And with passive calming activities, I like to say that this is the equivalent of an adult coloring book for people. An adult coloring book for people is where you are entertained, you're doing things actively but in a calm manner. So this should not wind you up, but rather really help you to be mindful, to feel relaxed, and to focus on the task in front of you, and to settle and maybe clear your mind while doing so. So passive calming activities for your dogs, I mean obviously dogs don't do color books, but passive calming activities for your dogs could be that you maybe scatter feed them. So your dog is hunting for food on the floor, not in a crazy way, but just sniffing it out, taking their time, having a little sniffari, and finding the food that is on the floor in a calm way. This could also be that they maybe have a Kong, a filled Kong, or maybe have a licky mat. I am a massive fan of licky mats, so my boys, especially this one here, gets a licky mat about once a day. He enjoys the licky mat too by now. It was a bit like, took him time to get used to it. He wasn't too patient at the beginning with the licky mat, but now both of my boys love them. And you can make it fun, you can mix it up. There's loads of recipes for licky mats as well as for filled Kongs. And with a licky mat, you can make it simple. My go-to is having a bit of salmon oil in one corner, and then having some canned food, or maybe sometimes freeze it, having maybe a bit of sweet potato mash, and if you fancy, I put a little dried fish on top of it. Whatever your dog enjoys, whatever your dog is allowed to eat, please do check foods that are safe for dogs. But yeah, have some fun, play around, and make it a fun event for your dog. Make it something special, and make it something your dog enjoys. There's also different licky mats. So we have one that is super calming, and generally licking something like a licky mat should calm your dog and help also with anxieties. They do come in all different sizes and shapes. There's really fancy ones with little ghosts or whatever. So yeah, you can have some fun, you can play around, but a normal licky mat will do. You can also give your dog a puzzle feeder. Both of my boys love the slider game from Nina Autism. However, there's different ones. We have 3 different ones, so you can start with something more simple at the beginning and then work your way up. Some dogs do enjoy this, some dogs do enjoy this less. Generally, I would advise to help your dog and really explain that game to your dog, to help your dog to figure out how to problem solve, how to get to the food, how to work that game so they don't get frustrated. Also to be there with them, to make it a fun activity maybe, especially at the beginning. He loves when I'm just sitting there and watch him do it. But yeah, to really help your dog, give them the support they need at the beginning so it doesn't get something that frustrates your dog or where they get super bored with. Because I think sometimes we expect our dogs to understand puzzle game, whether it's a slider or where they have to tap or where they have to pull, whatever it might be. I think we sometimes just expect them to know how to do it and then wonder why they get frustrated. So to really help your dog to learn how these games can be fun. So to be there with your dog at the beginning, and then later on your dog might be able to on their own. But generally these might be things you might want to supervise. Also, if you have a dog who scratches a lot, you might want to pick good games that are proper long lasting. You might want to take them away before your dog chews on them, etc. So this will be something to supervise to make sure it's safe for your dog and that you're around there. There's also some stoppers that you can put onto a chewy bit, so they can't swallow like the rest of it is too big of a piece. So yes, please, whatever you do, make sure your dog is safe. But yeah, appropriate chews, Kongs, licky mats, puzzle games that stimulate their mind are great things to use in a passive calming activity. Remember, it's kind of like the equivalent to an adult coloring book. And then the last bit is the Calmness Protocol. And within Calmness Protocol, we reward our dogs calm behavior. So we basically help our dogs to be calm, to teach them how to be more calm and to cheer them up along the way. And when I say cheer them up along the way, I mean cheer them up in the calmest way possible along the way. So what you don't want to do is to be like, woohoo, yes, or whatever if your dog is calm. So you do want to, I don't even give a damn. But so in the Calmness Protocol, you would feed your dog whenever your dog is calm. So you can feed your dog when your dog is calm and basically reward calm behavior to encourage them to show more of it. When you do this, please do this in a calm manner yourself. So you do want to deliver the food in a calm way. You don't want to throw the food then away for your dog to run after, but you really do want to maybe place the food on the bed as you would do, for example, in boundary games. So when you reward your dog's calm behavior, when you feed your dog when your dog is calm, you can also later on increase the level of difficulty. So you can also feed your dog outside when your dog is showing calm behavior, etc. So for example, when there are distractions, etc. So this is a concept that can grow with you. So to quickly recap, the Calmness Triad consists of 3 areas. So one is active rest, where your dog actively rests and has their beauty sleep. The second one is passive calming activities. This could be things like mind games or puzzle games. This could be appropriate chews. This could be licky mat. This could be filled Kongs. This could be things that are the equivalent of an adult coloring book, where your dog does something but is not in a high arousal state or gets hyped up by the activity itself. And the third one is Calmness Protocol, where you help your dog to be calm and reward your dog's calm behavior. As promised, I have some extra tips and tricks for you on how we worked on calmness and how we got there. As I mentioned earlier, calmness was not the way to be for my boys, and it was not a concept that came naturally to my dogs. We worked on this a lot, and one thing that I find helps wonders, especially at the beginning, is to train them with kind of a cue. So with Chalky, he's a deaf dog, so at the beginning, because he can't hear noises, obviously, so he would always wake up and check in with me and wait for my thumbs up to know it's safe for him to chill. And I think with a street dog, this is quite a natural behavior, because they have to watch their back when they're outside, don't they? So with him, I was always there giving a thumbs up. So this also meant I couldn't go anywhere without him following me, proper like a Velcro dog, my shadow. He would always like needing me. He would always need body touch in order to be calm, etc. So what I did is and this took a while because he was scared of blankets at the beginning, but we practiced putting a blanket on top of him. So basically, I tuck my dog in, and I do this with both of my boys, and especially with the little one though. Well, I say the little one, so Chalky is the little one. So it took a bit, but by now he knows that if I put the blanket on top of him and if I tuck him in, he immediately like cuddles in, and it's the cutest thing in the freaking world. Like he would just be like snuggle in his blanket. And also in the mornings, if he wakes up and it's way too early, I just put a blanket on top of him and he's back asleep. So this kind of became like our ritual, like our sign. Okay, it's still safe to sleep. It's time to sleep. There's nothing I expect from him. There's nothing where I would go without him. So also I would let him know if I leave the house. So yes, this helped a lot. And maybe you can find your own ritual, but if not, maybe, just adopt mine. The other thing with him is, so with him, for example, we train boundary games. So if I take anywhere a blanket, a towel or anything, if I put it out, he sits. So this is something where he knows this is his place. I don't expect him to do anything, he can just chill. This is his bit. So really like having different, like boundary training is definitely one thing, but really having also rituals or what you expect from your dog, and when does your dog know it's okay to switch off. Another tip I would like to give you is to really become the expert on your dog. And by being the expert on your dog, I mean to really understand what is your dog's rhythm, what is your dog up to. So this could be, what does your dog like, what kind of triggers your dog, what are the noises that set your dog up for high arousal. Dogs love a routine, dogs love to predict, so dogs kind of like know what it will happen when. So really to understand what kind of events set your dog up for certain behaviors. So to understand reactions in your dog. So to understand your dog can also include, what is your dog's rhythm. So basically, what is your dog's kind of like body clock. So what is the good time for your dog to naturally sleep, and how can you maybe adjust your day to this, at least at the beginning, where your dog gets into the rhythm of sleeping. So this could, for example, be in the mornings, when you go out with your dog in the morning and then maybe your dog has breakfast. Then is this a time where your dog naturally just really likes to sleep for 3 hours? Can you use this? Is your dog really active in the afternoon or in the evening before bedtime? Where does your dog need what? Love how that calmness video suddenly turned into a highly active video. But even then, so now they are here. One is here, the other one is on the bed. So they calm down quite quickly, so their arousal levels are quite low once they are at home, and everyone is happy and everyone has said hello to everyone. Yeah, so even after an event like this, where my husband just came home, they would settle down quite quickly, and it's generally they go back to that way of life. So to really understand, who is your dog, what do they need, what can you leverage naturally, so what kind of behaviors can you reward. You basically set your dog up for success, and you help your dog to be the calmer self, the better version of themselves, and to just make your dog's life easier, but also to make your own life easier, and also to find a way to have a calmer life. Part of this can also obviously be to make calmness really fun. Maybe you can have a cuddle at the beginning, maybe you can just enjoy some downtime with your dog, and maybe you can also take this on for yourself to just embrace maybe a bit of a slower life from time to time and enjoy the calmness. And this is it for today. I hope you found this helpful, and I would love to hear your journey, and would love to hear how implementing calmness has changed your life. If you want to keep watching, please do so. I have videos on rescue dogs as well as on street dogs, and if there's anything else you would like to know or something you would like to see here on the channel, please do let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next Monday. Thank you and take care. Bye bye.